Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some powerful stories to tell you. First up, we've got Ripple's XRP payments network launches on a global platform with over 500,000 users. Amazing. Also, Bitcoin maximalist and usual bear, Vays, says he's 99% positive that Bitcoin will hit 100,000 once this happens. And Ripple and XRP mentioned during U.S. congressional hearing today, and we're going to break down how it happened and the video from the actual hearing. And lastly, we'll go over the scam of the day. I want to say thanks everybody for doing this. This is super important to do as more people come into the space. I just want to say that this is getting pretty dangerous as far as the different scams that are out there. I mean, look at this one today that we just found. This is one of our YouTubers, Thinking Crypto, who's been recorded. He's in this video himself, and it's from an older, I guess, recording when he did something with Exodus, and it goes over the wallet and how they're using these types of videos to scam people out of lots and lots of money. But let's get to our first story. First up, this one was amazing to me. Ripple's payments network launched on a global platform, and we all know that Ripple and XRP, they're trying to do cross-border payments. That is their main focus. So when we start to look at payments, it's a whole different type of issue. And it's very interesting because with cryptocurrency and digital assets, the very first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that's what it was used for. It was for payments. It was for a payment service. But as time has gone on, it has evolved into a store of value, and it really can't be used for payments. And I know people in the comments might say things about, well, what about the Lightning Network? Lightning Network doesn't work that well. I mean, it works if you're going to use it, but as far as payments go, you're going to see why in a little bit. So this article, I was like, what the heck's going on? I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great for Ripple and XRP. Not that the price is going to move, because it seems like we can have 1,000 different positive articles and the price stays the exact same, but whatever. Anyhow, so the freelance marketplace GoLance says it's now utilizing XRP to power payments on its network of 500,000 users across the globe. And I've actually used GoLance. They are great. I used them for a couple of different issues with my website. I needed a programmer, and I went there, signed up, used it, and it was just awesome. And they have some really talented people on there. So I thought, well, this is fantastic, especially if you can use this for payments as far as Ripple goes, and XRP goes. So I'm like, wow. Anyhow, the company says it has officially rolled out Ripple's XRP-powered cross-border payments platform, on-demand liquidity, to pay its users, according to the announcement. This is from GoLance CEO Michael Brooks. He says, I get on planes to places like the Philippines and meet these people face to face. He's talking about the actual freelancers. That's helped me see firsthand why freelancers are hypersensitive about the cost and time it takes to be paid. Now, when I paid people, it went from my bank, went into some kind of escrow, and there was different things like there was different milestones that these freelancers would have to meet, and once they did a certain task, then I would pay them so much, and so on and so forth. But for me to pay wasn't an issue, but I'm sure for me to pay GoLance in this escrow, and then GoLance to convert the fiat into whatever it was, the peso, whatever, in Thailand, then that's an issue, and it takes a lot of time, and there's costs involved, and there's friction, so I get it. Anyhow, he says hypersensitive to takes time to be paid. Ripple's on-demand liquidity gives us the ability to make hyper-efficient, low-cost payments that make our customers happy and drive growth for our business. So GoLance first became a member of RippleNet this summer, but they weren't saying if they were going to be a part of the ODL, the on-demand liquidity, or if they were going to use Ripple themselves. And now we know it's going to be XRP as far as cross-border payments and just payments in general. And just scrolling down the last part of the article, the CEO said this, and this is where I get into the whole Bitcoin thing. He says, our job is to make sure that people can buy groceries. That's why we chose a stable, utility-based digital asset like XRP. We could have used Bitcoin, but its value is too volatile, and the recipient has the extra step of converting it to their fiat currency. So real quick, I want to tell you that, well, people would say, well, you can use Bitcoin for that. I mean, XRP is kind of volatile. It's all cryptocurrency. Well, here's the thing. With on-demand liquidity, it settles in 3 seconds. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Let me say that again. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's got its own little lane of being a store of value, so stay in your lane. That's it. So I think that and he's right. I mean, people gotta, when you're living in a third world country and you're like, hey, I need this $10 because $10 over there isn't like $10 in the States, not in the UK, not in Australia. It's a lot different. So if you're getting chunks of it eaten, let's say Bitcoin goes from whatever it is today, I don't know, 9, 8, I don't know what it is. And it goes down to, I mean, you lose 10%, right? Because you got to wait for so much time for that transaction to happen. 10% of $10, I mean, you're losing $1. And that's huge money for somebody who has to, work in these third world countries. So it doesn't work. And that's the whole thing, I guess. But he said we could have used Bitcoin's volatile. If there's a problem, I can't call Bitcoin. Ripple is a service provider. I've visited their offices all over the world and work with their teams to make our payments experience faster and more efficient. And it's true, like I can't call Ripple and go, hey, there's a problem with XRP, because I'm just one small little investor. But a big company like this, I'm sure, is going to be like, hey, we've got problems with whatever's going on over there. Can you take a look at it? And I'm sure a big, huge type of account could probably do something. Me and you, probably not. But I just found it fascinating that XRP is, I mean, they say specifically, we are focused on a niche, and that niche is cross-border payments. And now this happens, so it kind of blows my mind. I'm like, wow, they're able to do payments just like that. Fascinating. All right, moving on. Crypto strategist Tone Vays says he's 99% positive Bitcoin will hit 100K once this happens. I'm not going to go through the whole article. Tone Vays is a perma bull, or a perma bear, excuse me. That guy is like the most negative trader I've ever read on the internet. And he's always like, it sucks, or this isn't going to happen, this is going to go down, He's the one that in 2017, December, said Bitcoin will maybe make it to 7,000. And okay, sure. So this guy, he is the most negative, bearish person. So if the most negative, bearish analyst that you can find says that Bitcoin might go to 100,000 if this happens, I tend to stand up and take notice, because he is our last batch of resistance, right? So he says, I mean, the whole article boils down to this. If Bitcoin closes above 9,000 for the next 2 days, then he's going to be bullish for the entire month of February. Once it gets to 20,000, then he's super bullish, and he believes it'll go to 100,000. And that's it. That's the whole article. Moving on. This one has been all over, and I wasn't going to cover it because there's been so many people talking about it, so I'm going to make this really quick. Ripple and XRP was mentioned during the U.S. congressional hearing. And this is pretty much what happened. Representative Tom Emmer, Republican, asked Christina Tetrault, Senior Policy Counsel for Consumer Reports, whether she was familiar with some of the top cryptocurrencies, and she had no problem recognizing both Ripple and XRP. And he just said, hey, are you familiar with Ripple and XRP? Well, yes, I am, and da-da-da-da-da. Like it was nothing. Like it was a no big deal. Like, oh yeah, we talk about it all the time. It was amazing. So just real quick, I'm going to play you the video, and this is from the guy Digital Assets Daily, Mr. Emmer, or wow, another guy's name actually. He follows me. Hey, he follows me. I think I followed him back. Anyhow, check out his YouTube channel. He's got some good information. But this is just 33 seconds, and this is from Representative Emmer as he talks about it. So real quick, here we go. Let me turn this up so you can actually hear it.
We can't see all the things out on the horizon. We have to make sure we're very careful. In this institution in particular, has to start moving a little quicker with the certainty questions that we talked about in the marketplace. Because at the end of the day, that is where we're going. And I think people need to be very clear. We can either help facilitate this technology advancement, or it's going to happen without us. And God forbid it happens somewhere else where we don't have any say. We can't.
Oops, sorry, that wasn't the right one. I'll play the right one in a second. But it's amazing how he talks about we better do this now, or else it's going to pass us by. and it's already passing them by because China is going to roll out the e-yuan Q1. So America's already left behind, and they need to get on board, because if not, they are going to have problems later on, and they have to do this. They have to make this happen, or else it all kind of goes on the tubes. Let me go find that video real quick.
For their payments?
Yes. You familiar with XRP and the efforts of Ripple?
With the distributed ledger technology for their payments?
Yes. You familiar with...
And there you go. So I'm not going to delve into it. I mean, it's a nice step. I mean, when they actually say it, this is the first time I've actually heard of it being mentioned in Congress. I mean, they always kind of skip around the terminology, and they don't really say it. So this is the first time. And just little milestones, little baby steps until the eventual takeoff. And that's it for today. I wanted to make this short and sweet because I want to go over the scam of the day. Now, thanks for sticking through the rants. If you got a couple minutes, please stick with me for the scam of the day. Now, in every one of my videos, underneath in the description, there is a link. It is going to say scam of the day. You click on that link and it'll take you to the Google spreadsheet, which says scam of the day. And we've been doing pretty well, right? I've got a list of all the different scams that are out there. And whenever we find them, usually they get removed the next day because people like you downvote and report them. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. But there's this was from Steven. He's helping me put all these different in, Steven Daniels. And we just found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yesterday, and we had 2 removed. So that's fast. That's great. But there's this one that's really concerning me, and it's kind of like the same thing as the one up here. And it's a nano ledger scam. And what I want to show you is not only does it use Thinking Crypto, because they just pull the videos off and they don't really care because they're scammers, but what they're doing amazingly is they're saying, hey, open your web wallet, pair it up, enter your recovery phrase, wait for activation, and within 5 minutes you'll receive a bonus. So the Exodus web wallet, so that what they're doing is they're saying go to this address, and then essentially just, it's saying right here, if you're a user of a blockchain, Ethereum, Ledger, Atomic Wallet, Me, or other wallets, activate your wallet in Exodus Web. So what they're saying is go to this link, pair it, use your recovery phase, wait for activation, you're going to get money. That's dumb. Don't be scammed, don't be fooled. You're not special. No one's going to give you free money. Okay, so if you see junk like this, you will lose all of your money, all of it, in any kind of wallet that you have. So don't even try it, because it's just going to be bad news for you. So this is definitely a scam. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to downvote. I dislike this. There's a little flag right here for report. If that flag isn't visible, click on the 3 dots and sometimes it'll be underneath there. But for right here, it is. We're going to report it. So what is this? It's spam or misleading. Choose one. This is scams and fraud. Next. This is a scam. Please remove ASAP and report. Oh, one more thing about this, and that's really all you have to do. I want to do this one more time. When you report spam or misleading, choose one. Scams and fraud. See this little box right here? It says this applies to links within the video description. I need you to check that, because I think that triggers YouTube to look at this a little bit more closely. And then click next. Sorry. This is a scam. Report. And then you're done. So because there are links in here, it's very easy for them to weed these things out and get rid of them. And I'm hoping that they're able to look at these a little bit more closely and go, yeah, this is definitely a scam, grab it. All right, I want to say thanks again for going through the rants. I really appreciate it. And if you like this type of video, then consider subscribing. Also, there's going to be 2 other videos on the left and right. Take a look at those. I don't know exactly what they are, because they're going to be curated for the things that are best in your interest, and that's picked by YouTube, but they're all videos from us. And thanks again. I will see